All right, I'm done fucking around with that. Anyways.
Okay, let's get ready here.
We're here. We're here.
All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever you're listening to us. This is Drunkscussions. Thank you for joining me and the three amigos here. I'm here with Connery, Logan, as always. How are you guys doing today? What are you drinking on?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Paul. I'm glad you asked. So it's my birthday weekend, right? I'm going to be drinking from basically.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. 28 years old. I've had very dark thoughts about 28 because I'm pushing the bridge of 30. And I remember being a kid and adults were like, look, things are going to get better as you get older. Like moldy cheese is going to taste good. You're going to enjoy finer wines. But something my priest said to me that really never like took on is he said anal would get easier and it didn't. But anyways, I'm drinking Truly's new vodka. And I bought this 4 hours ago. So I definitely am going to have to re-up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Mom, can you come pick me up? I'm scared.
But yeah, that's what I'm
What about you,
drinking on.
Logan? What are you drinking on?
I'm drinking one of these Jefferson's Private Selects. It's Pritchard
Nice.
Hill Cabernet cask finish.
Oh, wow. Stepping it up here.
I mean, the first taste wasn't great. We'll see if,
Told you that.
it improves at all.
You see what I'm drinking on? One of your favorites. I whipped out the Blantons today. A lot of people
yeah,
love it.
it's great. I love it so much.
Is that a little horsey on top?
Mm-hmm.
It's a horsey on top
Yeah.
of the bottle.
It got really famous because it was in John Wick, really. But I mean, it's all right. It's okay.
Wow.
It's a Buffalo Trace product. It's not bad.
It's not bad. Well, that's good. That's
Put it out there for the clout,
We've got
So,
a lot to talk about.
Here we go. We're in a live, guys. We have some exciting stuff. It is
Yeah, you're gonna get to it, bud. Yeah, we are live on Twitch.com. You can find us on Twitch. Go to Drunkscussions to watch us live. We're streaming live every Friday. We're recording Monday's podcast, which is
I had a feeling
not giving
that
us
my
much
PC
room for error.
would do that. I had a feeling it would do that.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck up. It's gonna fuck
It
up.
is. It's gonna fuck. I gotta fix it. It's coming soon. But no, did you hear about what happened in Mansfield over the week?
Do you wanna do it now or do you want to do it later?
I mean, we can do it later, but I mean that's pretty cool stuff. I think we should talk about that first. So before that, we might as well roll that intro.
What happened was we got caught up in a drunk discussion, and then he burned the bacon.
Where we talk about everything and know nothing.
You know what I mean? So it kind of seems like a win-win-win.
Here's Gerald.
Here's
Telling everybody I'm dead.
Just draw a dick on it. It's not offensive. It's a dick. Everyone's got a dick nowadays.
Dude, tell me more, because I don't know anything about it.
Oh, a flapper's a 1920s dancer, you motherfucker.
Got a lot of bagels. I like my bagels. Chug 30.
Cheers. Salud. I mean, this shit's free, right? Monday morning. Chime on in.
Discussions.
Well, welcome back. Love that intro. It never gets old. But yeah, Mansfield here in Ohio. So a lady came in and sent in a recording of what she says is Bigfoot. She lives in the Mohican area, and I guess she apparently saw it in 2013, and no one would believe her. So she set out a camera every day since 2013, and she had gotten some wicked sounds onto it for real.
So she picked up audio recording, and then she picked up a visual recording of this as well?
This one's an audio. If I play it, will they hear it, or will you at least hear it?
I actually can't because I've got everything going on right now. But
That's fine.
You can just like explain it for everyone.
Well, pretty much you're overlooking the mountains, right? And she's got like a beautiful overlay. But she it's I don't know, as a hunter, I've been out there, and as someone that's been in the wildlife, I've heard coyotes, and I've heard foxes. Nothing is creepier than sitting in the middle of the woods and a fox screams at you. I've never heard this. This definitely sounds like when I was down in Honduras and we went to the howler monkeys. it kind of sounds like that, but from a distance. But like, it's definitely sounds like and nothing I've ever heard in the middle of the woods in Ohio.
Look, it's Ohio, dude. There ain't no mountains there. Those are hills with some trees on them, for starters. But
You know what I mean?
what if, though? I mean, some people could say that could be a skin crawler, if you will, because skin crawlers are known to adapt to noise. But does she have visual?
Skinwalker?
Yeah, that
That thing.
skinwalker.
I don't know, but it's a creepy sound. And it's coming from the distance, and it's been all over the news and the radio, and people are skeptic about it.
Wait, I think I saw it on TikTok. I think I
Yeah, it
saw
was on
that video on
TikTok.
TikTok. It was kind of like
The
a
fog and mist below, and like you just hear this howling in the back. It's not even a howl. It's just like a. I don't even know how to explain it, but it gave me chills really listening. I was like, "What is that?" Because I've been in the woods and heard shit, bobcats, fucking like all kinds of shit. It's not any of those.
There's no bobcats in Ohio, is there?
Oh yeah, Eastern Ohio. There's bobcats, my boy. And
Bobcats
in PA.
fucking up in Ohio.
Oh yeah, and it's creepy. It sounds like full on screams. Like you're thinking someone's getting murdered in the middle of the woods. But that just goes to think makes me think. What if this whole time we find Bigfoot in Ohio and not out west? It's like, oh, we found Bigfoot. It was in the middle of Ohio.
That's an odd place for Bigfoot to be. He's like chilling, and he's like, you know what? Things are kind of rough in Pennsylvania. They're rough in Kentucky. They're rough in Illinois. Fuck it. Let's just go to Ohio.
Imagine being on the Mohican River, just going down on one of your kayaks and canoes, and you just see a big old Bigfoot coming out of the water, massive slong slinging, and you're just like, "What the fuck is that thing?"
Do you think Bigfoot has a big cock?
He has to. He has to. It's a fucking huge ass ape man thing.
Do bears have big cocks?
I mean, they all have like wieners, Connery. I guess I don't know about big. I've never seen a bear cock just say, "Hell, I'm an expert on bear penis," but I'd assume it's bigger than the average bear.
Yeah, but like, so Bigfoot, most people project him at what, like 8.5 feet, right? Like a professional NBA player type of guy.
Right. I mean, that's like LeBron James, just a bit like wider.
It's a
I
big
mean,
cock.
that man's got to be packing, yeah. Or like Shaquille O'Neal. Like,
bigger
remember
one.
when who was it? It was I'm having such a brain fart. The comedian,
Yeah.
Adam Sandler. He was like, "Yo, I got to see Shaq's penis." Have you ever seen that one? Yeah. He's like, "That wasn't my penis." His bodyguard, he's like, "Yeah, sorry about that." He's like, "Oh no, that was my dick."
Well, speaking
But
of
again,
dicks,
here's my thing. No. Before we get to more dick talk, apparently that's what we're on is dick talk.
TikTok,
like, do you guys
with dick
think?
talk. Yeah.
Do you think Bigfoot could be in Ohio, or is it just as we call it here, the grass man?
Well, the
Or
thing
Bigfoot?
is like,
Yeah, Bigfoot.
every time you step out into the woods in Ohio, you're halfway through them. That's the joke they always make is like, "Oh, you went hunting in Ohio. You went into the woods, did you?" And you're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What, you step in and you're halfway through it?" There's not really much room for Bigfoot to hide. I feel like even Mohican, out of all places, if Bigfoot was, I gotta put this drink down. I'm sure it's picking up on audio, but I'm sure that if you were to go out even into Mohican, and there's just so many fucking hikers. You take Mohican, you take Hocking is it Hocking Trails?
That's down south, but yeah, Mohican is where this is at, Mansfield area.
Yeah, those are the two major places though with foliage that could cover somebody. But even then,
No,
you still have
There's Wayne National Forest or whatever state forest is big, and same with Shawnee. There's a lot of wooded area.
Yeah, but I feel like for how many times Bigfoot's been spotted, air quotes,
Right.
you would need a connecting line of foliage
Well,
that he could hide in. Right?
Appalachians.
Here is
It's
the weird thing.
Appalachians.
It's the Appalachians.
Appalachians.
They say the cave system. So there's cave systems that run the eastern side of Ohio that go from like Wayne up that way. What if they're just living in the caves?
Like lizard
That's-
people.
Honestly, that's terrifying. I don't want to think about that.
Imagine
They're
there's like a
just, like-
spelunker goes down there and you just face to face with an 8-foot monkey man.
Even worse, you're hiking and you're like, oh, it's starting to rain and there's lightning and you got to take cover. And next thing you know, you're in a cave. You're just sitting there trying to keep warm. And next thing you know, you're getting warm and you're like, there's something big poking me in my back. And you're like, oh, it's Bigfoot's cock.
You and penises. Is there something you want to tell us?
Yeah, I there is something I want to tell you. So Logan, I'm going to let you take it from here, but you gave me an interesting fact that brought up a childhood trauma of mine. Logan,
God.
talk about the statistics, talk about what I should be asking about. You brought it up. I have to bring it up in today's podcast.
So I just heard that based on statistics, if you're asking your doctor about anything, it should be, does my baby have a butthole?
It's a good question to ask, especially
That
since
is
I
the
have
question you have to ask, man.
I'm
Apparently,
2 weeks
because
away, max, from having a baby, and I have to ask that when it's born.
I think it was 1 in 5,000.
Born without a butthole?
Born
Yes.
without a butthole.
So does that mean you automatically die, or do they have to surgically put a butthole in?
Yeah, nope, that's automatic death, man. You're
You
just
have to
dead as soon as you come
surgically
out, no butthole.
put in a butthole. There's some people, so if you do the math, in the United States alone, there's 328 million people in the United States. If that math is correct, then 64,000 people here in the United States are born and
Buttholeless.
alive now without a butthole. That's
What a great podcast so far.
That is a lot of people without a
Toast.
butthole. But it brought me into this mentality I sat back and thought about of I wasn't born without a dick hole, but I grew into not having a dick hole. Does that make sense?
Wait, what?
Okay. So
Elaborate.
Okay,
we
no,
know you are
before-
a dickhole, but
Before we go too deep into this, I spoke with his mom earlier today, and she confirmed everything that he is about to tell you.
yeah. So
what?
you know how hairy I am, right? I'm a hairy man. I'm a man. I'm a man's man. Apparently, when I was
Go on.
born, I was
The
also
balls on this guy, huh?
apparently when I was born, I was also a man's man right out of the womb. Apparently, I had too much testosterone, and that caused my urethra to close shut, which means they had to cut in a dick hole for my dick hole. Yeah.
She said he was shooting 4 different directions when we were talking about it.
When I go to pee, it would go in all different
It's like a
directions.
squirt gun fight right as soon as you're born.
I could take out 4 targets at once. I've got a assassin's dick.
Fire in the house? No
The
problem.
the nurses probably loved you.
Remember my snowboarding accident, Paul?
Yeah,
When
where
you
you
broke
broke your
your ass?
asshole.
Yeah, when I broke my asshole, they didn't love me then. I doubt they loved me back then either.
I didn't love you then. You ruined my vacation.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fall out of the sky.
No, I warned you. We went over this many a times that you're not ready. You thought you were all
Right.
high and mighty.
We were doing
Connery,
those
step
jumps before
1.
the snowstorm, though.
Be aware. Gravity.
It
No,
wasn't
it's
even
buoyancy
gravity.
and density.
Yeah, fuck
You-
you. Gravity doesn't exist, Logan. It's buoyancy and density.
Yeah,
Come on.
we
My
invented gravity. We can turn that shit off whenever we want.
I forgot. The Earth is flat.
Imagine if they actually had a gravity switch and they could just say, you know what? Fuck everyone. And flick it, and everyone starts floating out into the atmosphere.
Everyone would, all the Christians would be like, the rapture's happening. The rapture's happening.
Yeah.
Start floating.
So you were born without a fucking penis hole,
No, I
or was
had,
it just little dots?
He
no, I
had one.
I had a slit, but it turned into a nothing. Like it just closed. It was sort of like a wound was healing, if you will.
So was it infected then at birth, or was it just like it was already
I don't-
healing over?
I don't know. I'll ask my mom. I have no
Logan, you asked these questions to his mother. Apparently, what did she say?
She said that it was just like a blockage that occurred basically, and that it was because he had high testosterone, I guess.
And I had to do my
And-
PP exercises, which involved me literally taking the tip and spreading it like a Bible.
Which I said because she told me that, by the way. And my response was, so basically scheduled me time.
To this day, I still have it. Yeah.
So
You still do your PP exercises?
Who doesn't? Come on.
Oh, I know Lauren's watching. Does she help? She's like, hold on, I got to do your exercise for you. Open,
How else do
close,
you think she
open,
ended up
close.
pregnant?
Speaking of that, the baby's due soon, isn't it?
Yeah, like I'm worried this
that's why
weekend.
we're talking about being buttholeless and without a pee hole.
this weekend I'm super worried about it because tomorrow supposedly, like, I'm going out with another person who's got a birthday on August 7th. We're going to a water park. We're gonna get trashed, have a great time. But what if Lauren ends up like, you know, going into labor? I'm gonna be like,
don't drink that much. Don't get trashed. Just get a little buzz.
That's what Uber's for, Paul.
Oh, that's one hell of an Uber ride. Sir, I need you to take me to the hospital. Why? My wife's water just broke at a water park.
My wife's in labor. I'm throwing up. My buddy's throwing up. Everything's just a fucking mess.
If I was the Uber driver, I'd be like, sir, if you get anything on my back seat, you realize it's a $180 charge.
Ooh, that cleaning fee. Yeah. You know,
it's better than throw up.
Speaking of dicks, right? We've talked about cocks. We've talked about dicks. We all know Ford, right?
Oh, fuck Ford. Found on Road Dead?
Found on Road Dead. You had a big old Ford, didn't you?
I did. I saw that actually with the CEO. They just released that.
Wait, pause. I just want to recognize, since we're doing this live, I am taking a peek at the chat, and I believe this is your sister that said, "I am glad and sad I overheard that conversation." But you guys can continue from there. I just wanted to.
Oh, hey,
that's great.
What's up, sister? Yeah, the many times seeing Connery jumping off the barns. I don't know where that's. I did jump off the barns. That was my.
Because your wiener was like a little helicopter, apparently.
Yeah, just fly up.
But back to dicks. Ford's CEO came out and said that they're abolishing the idea of dealerships, and that Ford is going to a more direct to consumer ideology, and that they're blaming dealerships really for the high inflation of car prices. While on the other hand, now you have dealerships saying, no, we have a high inflation in car prices because we didn't have a new car market. You guys didn't produce enough for us to meet demands. So now you're having a battle between small, quote unquote, businesses and dealerships and Ford.
Well, I mean, it also plays into the part of we've seen mechanics work with Carvana, right? Even though they're a used car dealership is what they are. They're an online digital presence of used vehicles. That's the only way they're allowed to sell vehicles. They're not legally allowed to sell used vehicles because of all the lobbyists and everything that's involved with
new vehicles, you mean?
New vehicles, yeah. So with Ford in the EV, the reason why they're pushing towards having a 100% online buying experience like Tesla, like Carvana, is Tesla, even though it's a new vehicle, they follow under the EV standards of, it's not technically a combustion engine. So it's able to pass under the radar when it comes to having to go through legally the lobbied version of a car dealership.
Right.
The car dealerships have been paying a lot of money into, lobbyist pockets that allows them to continue on with their motion of selling vehicles third party, right? They're the middleman. EV allows them to get past that.
That makes sense because, for years they've been lobbying it, and that's how we've been putting in laws and legislation to help protect dealerships. And if this goes around that, this would be the death of quote unquote small dealerships and dealerships in general.
No,
think about it. General Motors is going all EV too. If they see Ford doing this, what Tesla does, General Motors jumps on next. There are your three largest automotive manufacturers in the United States alone.
Realistically, if you think about it on a long run, right? You've got Ford, who's going to be coming really big into the EV world. You have General Motors, Toyota. Eventually, it's no longer going to be a powerhouse of who sells the air quote best fucking vehicle. It's going to be who is performing the best in service as well as battery performance, right? So Ford, what they're going to be doing is with all of these dealerships that are basically going to go under, is turn them into the ultimate service lot, right? So a service center, if you will. That way they don't have to worry about the dealerships going under. They're able to convert if they want to and change into being a electrical vehicle service center. I think if you... Hey, another subscriber. I got to turn off these alerts. I don't know how the fuck to do it. But so somebody asked the question, would you really buy a car without trying it first? I don't know. We all have, though. You have, Paul. I have. Have you, Logan? Have you ever bought a car without seeing it first?
No.
Or driving it first?
Never.
No.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Well,
what, the Toyota?
Well, think about it. You and I, Paul, we sold cars for 3 years, right?
Yes.
We've
Well, me a little
basically
younger, but yeah.
had our ass in a car,
All the
every
time.
car on the road. We've test driven them, if you will, right? So it's easier for me to say, okay, I'm going to buy this car, but realistically, you're looking for what features on an electric vehicle. Down the road is going to be Logan's image here on the screen is going to be perfect. It's going to be something that, okay, can this safely self-drive? Is this comfortable? And
Can I
how's the
drink in it?
performance? Yeah, that's going to,
Yeah, that would be cool. But then there's always this little thing in the back of my mind where, like, if I don't have a combustion engine and say there was like, and this is just tin hat on, right? What if the government wanted to shut your cars off? Boom. No
What if we
driving
went back
vehicles.
to horses
Or-
and buggies, and horses
Right.
just knew their way from home to the store, and that's all you needed to do?
I mean,
go
the
get some
Amish do
beer,
it. They get
drink on the way there, on the way
blitzed.
back. Have you seen?
The
There's a
Amish get
video in
blitzed.
Ohio recently of two cops trying to stop a horse-drawn carriage on a dirt road, and the driver was passed out drunk, and they were trying to stop the
Trying
horse.
to stop it. Yep.
And the horse was like, well, eventually you hear on the body cam, the cop is like, all right, the horse knows where he's going. I'm just going to follow him home and make sure he gets there.
I think,
But I mean, imagine if there was like an EMP, boom, all cars gone too. Like,
well, yeah,
let's
but
maybe have a combustion car on the side. You never know.
hypothetically, though, let's say you get to the point where you don't really have to worry about countries fighting, which we won't see in
Would
our
be nice.
lifetimes. You get to a point where self-driving vehicles exist. Now, I honestly, I think a partial push towards the self-driving vehicles is defunding of the police in the United States, right? I think that it plays a huge part into it because defunding of the police allows the police to be able to do the whole fun, will that be cash or credit? Where if you're going to call them like, okay, yeah, this is a paid for service type of deal. If you want armed guards, okay, you're going to have to fucking pay for it. If traffic laws become a way of the past and you don't have to worry about people speeding, you don't have to worry about vehicles colliding with each other, drunk drivers, texting and driving. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. But you've got to bitch and complain about somebody. You're going to have to pay for that service. The way I see it is definitely it's plausible. Rather than competing over who has, again, the air quote best vehicle, it's okay, who's got the best battery, best performance, best AI,
Or most luxury.
or
'Cause, I mean,
luxury.
all of us
yeah.
love luxury.
Imagine Matthew McConaughey leaning back in his car, taking a nap, and he's like, all right. That's a commercial
It's a-
down the road.
It's a fucking Lincoln.
It's a fucking electric Lincoln, buddy.
Oh, he'll just combine all of this stuff. He'll be like, this is a Lincoln, and this is Long Brents from Wild Turkey, and I can drink them at the same time.
We've got we've got another question though that plays
Yeah.
into a part of service centers. Service centers are one of the most profitable areas of a car dealership. We all know that,
True.
right?
This is true.
They'll charge you fucking $300 for an oil change and a headlight fluid top off. But electric vehicles, he mentioned what will happen when these dealerships lose that income of service, especially with electric cars not needing that regular maintenance. I think
Well,
you're going to
that's-
see other charges
That's
play
the
in.
thing, is that it's going to get more expensive to service those electric vehicles, obviously, but there still are services you have to do. Like monthly,
Brakes.
obviously, you need to check your tire pressure and all of that. But then when you look into like tire rotations, alignments,
Brake suspension.
checking the safety system, like that stuff is done every 10,000 or so miles, technically speaking.
I think
and
you're
then,
already seeing.
I mean, you
what
gotta
could
flush
happen.
the undercarriage from salt too in Ohio.
Okay.
Ideally once a year. You gotta replace the cabin filter, the air filter, all the coolants and brake fluid. Like all of that is still gonna need to be done.
Blinker fluid. Can't forget the blinker fluid.
So for the past 5 years, essentially, you've already been seeing it happen, right? Tesla. Some people have made a motion at who's charging for heated seats now. Is that BMW?
Yeah, BMW.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's not the first time you've heard about it. It's just the most asinine thing you've heard about charges and pay as you go features. Tesla already has that. Tesla has a vehicle that's completely capable of self-driving, except you're paying $5,000 for the self-driving feature. It's already built into the car. It's just a software switch. And you know, the thing of vehicles, yeah, you're not really paying for an engine mechanic. You're paying for pay-as-you-go services, whether that be heated seats or, you know, I could honestly see it getting to the point of seats that lean all the way back into a bed.
They're already there. The new Ford Lightning does that.
Well, no, a feature that you have
Wait.
to pay for.
They brought back the Lightning?
They
How
did.
have I
You didn't know
not
this?
seen this?
The new Ford Lightning's an all-electric truck.
It's pretty sweet,
Yeah,
actually.
I know. I threw up when I heard that too.
Is it still the SVT Lightning, or what is it?
Nope,
just
it's
the
just
Lightning?
the Ford Lightning. Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now.
it's different, that's for sure. It
It
looks
really
like a little
doesn't
bit.
look bad.
No, it doesn't look bad. I'm not saying it looks bad, but like
Except
as
the
a
Ford
motorhead like
F-150
myself,
Star.
like it's gonna a little part of me is gonna die. Like you get to a light and you can't rev your engine. You're just gonna be like, no
Wow,
noise.
that's huge.
They're talking about using the vibration of the I can't remember the science behind it, but they're talking about trying to make a natural electric engine sound.
I would just be like, I got like 10 subs underneath my back seat, and it makes a big old Ferrari sound.
The sounds are cool and all, but realistically, that's the only thing about it. I don't see why. Is it
Okay,
just a
well,
way of
here's the
converting
thing.
muscle heads?
No, we're still not at the point. Like if you go to a racetrack, right? Drag, yeah, an electric car is extremely fast
It's all
right
torque.
off the rip.
Yeah.
It's all torque. But in the long distance high speed, it's not, because you only have 2 gears right now. While when you have like, the brand new McLaren, they have multiple gears, and when they're once you hit top speed, they're flying past Tesla and on top speed drills. It's only within that first mile where it's just like boom, Tesla's got it. But if you're going after that, boom, they're passing your ass. Like there's still a lot of benefits, and speedheads, motorheads love the idea of it. Toyota. But regardless, I'm saying I don't think it's going to be some time before the human population, at least America, since our infrastructure is built around the automobile and motors and gasoline and petroleum products, that we're going to be like 100% EV. Let's jump on board. I do think it'll be a little while.
But here's the thing too, though, about that. Okay, cheers.
Cheers. Tyler said, "Have a drink, guys. We're having a
All
drink."
right.
Oh, this
Is that Tyler, like our Tyler?
No, that's not our Tyler. That's
Oh.
another
But
Tyler.
that hypercars and supercars, like a lot of them are going electric as well. Like big name brands as well. So like that
McLaren's on
statement
board with
about
that, yeah.
obviously Tesla, like the Tesla Roadster though, goes 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds.
Right.
Like
But what's
not
the top
0 to
speed?
60, 0 to 100.
Yeah, but
But what's the top speed?
that is crazy.
250 miles per hour, which I understand that there are vehicles on land that can go 400. I get that.
Yeah, there is.
Not legally, but
Like
you're
it's
not
faster
talking
than a
legally.
Bugatti Chiron.
It's faster than a
So-
McLaren 720S.
But then you have Ariel that makes one. You have Lotus that makes one. I mean,
it's my Tyler, is what he said. Sorry.
there's a Porsche. I think there's a Porsche coming out. I don't think it's come out yet. Pagani's making one.
Well, the thing is most of those, I'm pretty sure they're not 100% EV. They're hybrids. So they're using EV and petroleum products.
No, like here's one. I just looked at one Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg. So such
yeah.
a nice looking car.
They have
It's not a street legal car, though.
They're using all electric though.
Hey, Logan, do you see in the chat? It's Munch Munch. He joined.
Munch.
What's up,
It's
John?
Munch Munch. Hi, Munch Munch. I'm drinking one for Sean. But regardless, I think it's dumb. I don't know if it's a smart move on Ford to do it right now. I feel like they're jumping the gun.
I disagree.
And no, hold on here. I'm not done explaining why. Because you have these other automotive industries or companies with these large lobbyists that are potentially going to see this, and they're going to jump to it. And then you're going to have these dealerships around the country that are going to get on not just them but our government, because there's already legislative, stuff in process as it is to help protect those companies, those quote unquote small businesses.
The thing is, though, when you have let's look at the actual geopolitical demographics and data, right? You have an entire generation who strictly relied on visiting a dealership to sit their ass in a vehicle and be sold a vehicle. The boomers are going out. They'll be out in the next 5 years. Boomers are 5 to 10 years. They're basically out of the market. They're out of, we don't have to worry about them anymore, right? Most of them are going to be dead. We'll just say that.
Well, who's after the boomers? Like
Gen
my
X.
parent, Gen X. So then Gen X would be in there, and they're still old heads to themselves. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of them too.
Exactly. One of the questions was from a Gen Xer. Hi, Mom. Is what about putting your ass in a vehicle and being able to test drive it? You wouldn't buy a vehicle without test driving it, would you?
I wouldn't.
I definitely think we have enough at our disposal. We have an entire arsenal of reviews of what you're looking for. You have software that can scan your body now and determine what could fit you best when it comes to clothing. Why doesn't something like that exist for a vehicle? Oh, you're 6 feet. You've got a fat old juicy motherfucking ass. You got big old legs. You got big old calves. You got a 13 size shoe. I think the Toyota Tundra would be good for you. And look,
big old horse cock.
Get a big old cock. I think a Prius is good for
both
you.
ways. You could also be, 4 foot nothing, can barely reach the pedals, and you want to test drive it to see if you can see over the steering wheel. So I mean,
we've got
a lot of people are still want to do that.
We've got enough data though.
Yeah,
that
I gotta go into the store to try on pants. It doesn't matter because they fit differently, bro. They fit differently.
I think if you were to have something that you could put in your input of, okay, this is how tall I am, this is my measurements, this is my weight, this is what I'm looking for. There should be in today's society something that exists that you can do that, and it'll tell you this is the best suited.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
Like I gotta make sure my butt looks good in the jeans. You know what I mean? I can't.
We're not talking about jeans.
Well, I mean, he's using it as a reference. Like you got to make sure you look good in the car. Like look good, feel good,
I gotta make sure I'm
good.
looking studly. You know what I mean?
But even
when I was looking at cars, there was some where I got in my head, even with it all the way down, I was like rubbing the top. And I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like it's almost like a catalog. You type in your stuff online, it shows you what cars would be in your range, whether it be price range and or height and size range. But a lot of us, like your mom said, and me as well, I want to sit in it. I want to feel it. I want to test drive it before I'm like, this is the one.
Yeah, but
I definitely won't buy a car sight unseen. I will. I mean, I'll see pictures on the internet. I will do all the same research into the car, and that'll help me select that I want to take the time out of my day to go see that car. But I still have to see it, I feel like.
I think it would become to a market, though, that's sort of similar to Amazon when it comes to their clothing. They have a curator for clothing. You put in your dimensions, you put in everything you like, and it sends you clothing based off of that. And Fit Fab Fun even has something like that. And if you don't like it, you return it within a week, right? If they had a model like that for a vehicle, I think you'd be super successful. Carvana actually installed something like that. You take the vehicle, and if you don't like it within a week, if you total it, it's a different story. If you scratch it, it's a different story. You can return it and get something else.
What stops people from just quote unquote then renting a car? Like, oh, I didn't like it. Let me return it. Let me get another one. Oh, I didn't like it. Let me return it.
Go through the financing process, where you have to dish
over
out.
And over. Okay.
Yeah.
It's limitations you would put into place, but I think something like that. But then again, we're talking about 4 major auto manufacturers. We're talking about Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, and Hyundai, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are the major.
General Motors,
which is Chevy. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, General Motors, Ford, and Lexus, Toyota, whatever. You
Chrysler,
have
Jeep,
your
Dodge.
Okay, Dodge. Okay, those are your 4.
5.
those are your 4, but it turns out to be like 17. So you've got those guys. If they were to come out with a vehicle that essentially is self-driving, energy is electrical, and
I love how you stop yourself from saying efficient, because it's not.
It's not.
Much more efficient.
We all know it's not. Yeah, it's not energy efficient. And then they start adding in extra technology, and the extra technology, just like you are with your cell phones. You're buying a cell phone sight fucking unseen. I think
bullshit. I walk in and I play with that bad boy. I do my research before I buy my phone.
You could still do that. Tesla allows that. You go into a Tesla dealership. They're not going to sell you right then and there, but you can sit in it. What if they had the same concept?
I could see it working.
Yeah.
But I think it would take some time for the general public to get used to it. Because I know a lot of people now also are still worried about the idea of an electric car because we've seen a lot of fires, people having their batteries charging, and boom, their house goes down.
Those are a lithium ion exception. Don't worry about them. Just hush hush money. That's what that is. Hush hush money.
Yeah, well, now it's happening with scooters. Did you see that? Where the scooter plugged in caught their garage on fire?
My fucking dog. Holy shit. So I have
your dog's electric too?
No, my mother-in-law bought me these AirPods, right? And I wanted the AirPods Pro. I love her to death. She's a great person. So I bought myself the AirPods Pros and I gave the AirPods to my wife. Two or 3 days ago, fucking PB, my Pitbull Whippet mix, she ate them.
Like, wait, case and all or just the pods?
Chewed the fuck out of them. And me thinking about it on the electrical side, I'm like, okay, something's going to fucking happen. If I put these in the trash, my house is going to catch on fire. If the dog eats it, it's going to be a combustible fucking pit bull.
I have a question now. I have a follow-up.
I'm fucking tipsy.
You said she ate it. Did she chew on it or did she swallow the earbuds? Because, like, did she try connecting through Bluetooth?
Yeah, no. Both of the AirPods were there. Like, they were absolutely knackered. But we did have, like, a silicone case over the AirPods. So I think she correlated silicone with a chew toy. And that's why she fucking
I like this idea. Hang on. Tyler was talking about the augmented reality that they have in like Walmart, so you can see what your lamp looks like in your house, kind of deal.
Ooh,
it's true. That is a good idea.
See what you look like in the car. I appreciate that input, by the way, Tyler. But so he says, or you can carry a model of each vehicle for test drives, and then after they're ordering, it's shipped to you. So like they already do that, don't they? For the Teslas, don't they have like?
They carry the X, all of those vehicle models. They carry them in stock. You can literally go in there, fuck around, and find out with all of the different vehicles, and then say, okay, this is the one I want to order, and then you put it on order. I put $100 down 2 years ago on the Cybertruck. I probably never see the vehicle, realistically. But that is the truck that I said, okay, this is something that's so asinine. It's so out of this world. I'm not sucking Elon Musk off thinking about getting this vehicle. It's because I'm trying to be forward thinking in the motion of, okay, I'm trying something new. I want to see something like this succeed. And if I can convince more people to push towards this motion.
Hummer, then.
Hummer's doing it too?
Go with the Hummer. That new Hummer. Ooh!
They're coming out with a Hummer?
Yeah. Hummer EV.
General Motors gets rid of the Hummer, and then they're like, you know what? Let's bring back electric.
Electric Bronco.
Grab walks too, so the all four wheels turn, and you can. It's sweet.
Chevy's had that. Cool. Yeah, remember the what was
2000 Denali? Yeah, it was like 2000 to 2003. They had in the Denali where all four wheels would turn too.
So many people were fucking turning off the road. Yeah. Good times.
The electric Bronco looks like a fucking lunchbox. Have you seen that?
It does, doesn't it? I'm sorry. Some of these, I wish I could be in the minds of when they're designing some of these vehicles, because I really want to just slap the shit out of them. Like that's the only reason I want to walk in there, just slap and be like, "What the fuck were you thinking?" and walk out.
The new Ford Ranger.
And rub your nose in it a little bit. Next week, I'm driving a Lamborghini Huracan.
I know. You
on a road course with a professional driver.
$100 says you're too scared and you're just going to go the speed limit.
I'm going to put that bitch in first gear and I'm going to go 20 miles per hour around the course, shaking in my boots, scared to damage that car.
You're going to be Ricky Bobby after the crash.
On the plus side, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about crashing it. That's the best part about it. They let you go out there to fuck up.
Yeah, no, it's insured.
Well, you work for the insurance company, so I think you're good.
You'll be okay. Fuck. But I would. So let's put it this way. Paul, I know you're a huge motorhead. I know you're huge about the V8 Thunder, the fucking bam ba lam whoa Black Betty drum solo to the engine just fucking cammed out.
Mullet in the wind, screaming it. Yeah, okay.
Would you ever switch to 100% just electric?
I personally, I would always have a vehicle that's not.
You got no choice. We're not selling gas. God his ass.
Well, I can make my own, bitch. What you talking about, man? You can go biodiesel, or you can just fucking pour moonshine in that bastard. It'll go. But we got the old 82. It's carbureted 82 K2500. You know, I still want my Fiero. I'm sorry, it's gonna happen. My idea of what's gonna for my build that I'm gonna do for my 88 GT.
What happened to the
Um,
Cafe Racer?
That's the I just moved it today. The motor and everything. Sean Munch is listening. Help me moved it. Thank you, Munch. The frame got painted and the wheels, and I'm now the fun begins, which is tearing apart the motor and cleaning it up and getting that going. Which it's just money, maybe, more money thrown to my to the dumpster and lit on fire.
Well, fair enough. So I just had an epiphany. Electric vehicles start becoming the thing of the future, right? And they shut down gas for everyone. Do you think they're going to continue killing people for coming up with hydrogen engines?
Or water engines?
That's the same thing.
No,
Yeah.
Or
no,
H2
it's not.
engines, hydrogen,
Okay.
water engines.
Hydrogen, because Toyota was doing the hydrogen engine, which
Yeah.
is like, I think personally is the future. That makes way more sense.
It's the
But-
smallest
Too
molecule.
difficult.
It's hard to control and contain.
But
Yeah.
you have that blow up and take out half a city, or a lithium ion car blow up and
Take out a
take
house.
out a street. Yeah, or a house.
I don't know. Like, I think if it comes down to that point, you're going to be able to have the opportunity to convert vehicles that you love, right? Into something that's a little bit more sustainable.
Right.
The way of fossil fuels isn't going anywhere. I mean, fuck, even toothpaste requires fossil fuels to make. Let's have a
Right.
shot.
Yeah, cheers.
I think we can all generally say, fuck Ford, you narcissist cunt, but love you at the same time.
I don't know. Again, I'm on the edge because like that's a lot. We don't know the end result. Like I like your idea of like them turning into service centers, but would that be Ford buying them out after they've already closed and making them for service centers, or is it going to be these mom and pop places that are still going to be quote unquote a service center and it's their name on it? I don't think that's what's going to happen.
So, in a presentation at the Bernstein's 38th Annual Strategic Decisions Conference, an event that is apparently real, I'm glad they put that in there,
Apparently real.
and not an arrested development plot point, Farley confirmed that Ford intends to sell EVs entirely online with no haggle pricing. Dealer lots full of pre-ordered inventory would be gone, and today's existing dealers would pivot towards providing service for cars purchased online. So the idea of Ford is to essentially move everything from being sold in a car dealership to selling online and then just turning those dealerships into service centers.
Ford was the one to do it anyway. They weren't selling enough cars and vehicles as it is. Their number one seller was the truck lineup. So, I mean, if you go to the dealership, even in our town, I'm not going to say the dealership name, they've been struggling for a minute now.
Have they really?
Yeah. Oh, God, a while. So, I mean, I can understand Ford doing it since they have kind of their niche market. But,
Wait, are you talking about the one that sold their used car lot?
yeah, that one.
Ah, good. Fuck them. Kidding. I love you guys. Sorry, I had to get some water.
And to madly confused, in protecting your free mode of transportation with always having, a combustion or having a vehicle. Is it free? Quote unquote. Is it free? I mean, if I was saying free mode of transportation, I want our public transit is what we need to improve upon, because like our infrastructure, like I said before, is based on automobiles. Everywhere else around the world, like when I went to Europe, you have buses, you have trains, and their buses are already on eco diesel. So I mean, there's so much more we could do if we improve our public transportation. And then if you want to have a vehicle or a car, you can still have that choice.
Well, I mean, even if you look at the tires, the amount of petroleum that goes into manufacturing tires for your vehicle is asinine. I mean, there's a lot of different things that are going to have to change, but I do believe that Ford making this decision is a right step in the right direction of forward thinking with a vehicle.
Well, I mean, we'll see. The end result is hazy, and it can take, in the multiverse, a multitude of different angles of where it could go. But in American past, I feel like some way we're gonna fuck it up.
I mean, that's what we're best at.
I mean, okay, so I think a big thing that Paul was talking about is like the difference between us and Europe is you could drive from Spain to France in no time at all, and like we've got a lot of space, and we use a lot of fuel flying around. Like if we had a hyperrail from like, you know how we have highways? I didn't know this, by the way, but they're counting up from west to east,
Yeah.
and then
We were supposed to
from
build a hyperrail from
south to north, like
Cleveland
our
to Cincinnati.
highways.
It's like
But
Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati.
if we just had like one rail running north to south and one rail running east to west, people could get relatively close to where they wanted to be and then drive from there. Like if they needed to travel great distances, and then they could utilize
What
like
if?
the trams or whatever they have in the cities.
So you know those like little you can rent scooters that are like electric? What if it gets to like what you're saying, Logan? You take the bus somewhere or the electric train somewhere, whatever train somewhere, Hyperloop, whatever, and then you just rent a car and they're just like sitting there charging. You jump in, they're all the same, and off you go. We'd probably still trash them because people are disgusting, but
well, I mean,
that would create jobs too, though.
Not really, but you got to think one step ahead of that. So right now, you think about those scooters. The main job that's a part of it is somebody goes and collects all those scooters, cleans them up, get them ready for the next person, charges them. You take a car that is self-driving, which the technology is already here. It is. It's been here for the past few years. You can't deny that. You take a car that is self-driving, that you have a line of them that's at the end of the tram, right? A Japanese bullet fucking train. Drops you off, you get off, 500 people get off, you've got 50 cars that drops the people off at their destinations and then comes back in. Somebody is just sitting there, charges them, or you've got a wireless charger. The car just parks on top of it. Bam, wireless charging, and you've got a fully automated system of transportation for commuting. I mean, I think it's...
And like our last conversation, I just don't think our automation industry is to that level yet.
The technology is there.
That
it's just the people.
It's not. I don't think it's
still
there.
Be able to have cars, like, but I think electric is gonna be the way of the future because it requires less work on the part of the manufacturer in the long run.
I mean, as long as we're like what he said, Madley says, putting in millions of dollars into public transportation, as like at least we're having a start. We're getting there. We're kind of realizing we're a little behind the curve, behind the ball. Because like you're looking, like I said, you're looking at these European countries. You're like, how is your your emissions so low? How are people able to get from A to B so fast? It's like public transportation. I was like, there is money there. Like Logan said, it will create jobs. You're going to have people to clean them. You're going to have people to service them. You're going to have people,
build it.
To at least build it and be there or oversee at least the automations. Yeah, the software, the developments, the engineers. I mean, that is still a lot of jobs.
There's a few areas you could cut out. I think right now you've got an entire different you've got a whole bunch of different companies that all they think about is money, which that's what a company does.
We have the Mr. Krabs button right now. Money.
You've got all these corporations that's the only thing, the bottom line dollar. Until something comes along where the bottom line dollar really doesn't matter too much, I don't think you're going to get to that point of full automation. Like I keep looking at the picture Logan has instead of his camera, and I'm like, yeah, maybe one day we can be at the point of flying vehicles around skyscrapers. But until that point,
because if we have control, people are going to full on 9/11 those bitches.
Well, look, the government definitely needs their play into automated systems that handle that, but.
Right. But again, I forget who it was that told me, but like what happens if, and this is kind of another tinfoil hat, throw it on there, the government says like, you know what, we're doing another lockdown or quarantine or martial laws enacted, and boom, all your electric cars are shut off. There is no transportation.
They can do that.
They should not be allowed to do that. That's fucked.
No, I'm agreeing with you that, it's absolutely fucked, but that's definitely a possibility. But at the same time, look, take out the government, right? It's a weird concept. Take out the entire fucking government of being able to control everything. which they already do, right? Mass media, corporations, they all fuck. And look, put on your fucking tinfoil hats, you cunts. We're talking about it. I gotta take a piss actually, but we'll hold on.
Wait.
What?
But imagine you could go from New York to LA in 45 minutes.
Look, Madly, Tyler, you fucking keep asking about this goddamn carbureted vehicle. Are you going after your own petrol fuel in the event the world goes fucking dark? No, you ain't.
Yeah. Me and Tyler will be in his back barn making moonshine to put in our carbureted vehicles and saying, screw you all. We'll call it redneck rocket fuel and fuck you. We will.
All right, corn is gone.
Well, why would corn be gone? There's got to be farmers. You got to feed people still. So corn's never going away. It's a mass crop.
No, it's already gone away. You've got, look at two countries that's already gone away. Russia and Ukraine. Boom. Wheat, corn, gone. It's possible. It happens.
I get a Detroit diesel. I mean, we could be like Willie Nelson. We got our hemp diesel or biodiesel built up.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying having these comments like coming in as we're fucking talking. It makes it interesting. Look, I'm gonna go pee. Y'all keep fucking chatting. I gotta stroke on off.
No, serious, Logan. Like, would you feel comfortable knowing that at any moment your government could just click a button and all of your modes of transportation is just ceased?
I mean, they could click a button and fuck up the traffic signals in all of the towns across the United States, causing massive panic.
But would
and
people
road
actually?
rage
People wouldn't listen to it. People wouldn't listen. They'd still go on. People. I mean, right now, I know for a fact myself. If it's a red light, and no one's around me, I'm running that shit, bro. I've done it many times.
It would be terrible.
There's one thing from a red light and just making them go haywire to literally turning off your only mode of transportation.
I mean, but you don't think like people figured out how to remove governors?
Okay, so well, like
right?
hack your car and turn it on.
Yeah, do you have a laptop?
Yeah.
Plug that bitch in. Let's go.
Full on. Everyone in the future is hackers. We're all software engineers and programmers, and every single person's going to be able to not hotwire, but, hack their system.
You and I will go take HTML classes, and we'll get it figured out.
Oh, yeah.
They won't hack my whip. No shot.
I got my VPN hider on. They're not going to find my car. Fuck you, government.
Get out my mom's Tesla.
That was a fast pee. Did you fucking piss on your pants? Like, that was quick. Did you even wash your hands?
Look, you stay at one place. Do you have to wash your hands?
You just touched your nose after you held your wiener.
You don't have to hold your wiener when you sit down to pee, Paul.
Oh, you sit down?
Yeah, just hands.
Bitch. We got someone in the chat saying that they just rehacked their heated seats back on. Let's go.
Look,
there you go.
That's the point of freedom of technology, right? I think there should be a Freedom of Technologies Act added to the amendments, because the reason why I say that is we all know Apple. Apple is a phenomenal product. Paul, fuck you. I already know you're going to say Android's better.
It is.
Yeah. But you look at the USB-C cable, right? The USB-C cable was supposed to be something that is completely non-proprietary to technology. It was supposed to be something that everyone can use on all of their newer devices, right? And then Apple's like, nah, fuck you. We're doing the Lightning, and we'll do a little bit of USB-C on the laptops and iPads. I don't know where I was going with this, but I definitely think a Freedom of Technology Act should be put into the amendments. I mean, if we're going to update the amendments, I think that's something we should add to it. Women's rights is
amendments.
I was going to say women's rights might be an important topic.
That one's too, but yeah, right to repair definitely has to be enacted.
Oh, yes. So that's another thing, because we've talked about that before. John Deere, like, literally owning their vehicles, and you have no right to work on it. So farmers across the country literally having to pay and shell out so much money to be able to get vehicles worked on, updated, and they're not even theirs. Like, that's bullshit. So is it going to be the same thing?
I can't remember who it is. I follow him on TikTok. It's this gay.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The gay farmer that is.
He's not gay.
Oh.
Not that it matters, but like
I reenact
dates
that
and shit and talks about it. He's just high pitched voice, okay?
Fair enough. But no, this guy, he talks about it. He's like, yeah, John Deere's probably going to put a cease and disdain or whatever it's called order on me because I'm talking about this. And it's getting to the point, though, that and when it comes to technology, right to repair is great, but even genetically modified food is becoming an issue because they're able to now say, okay, you are my genetically modified corn is growing on your plot. I'm able to say that's mine now. That's stuff that he's bringing up of, we've used technology to modify our corn so it's recognizable to our corn, and we don't care if it's went into your field. It's now ours.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Their vehicles, even, they can shut them down. They can do that.
They sold the
Guys.
seeds, right?
Every time you say vehicle, we have to drink.
Every time we say
baby.
vehicle, I'll take a drink.
Prost.
Salute. Oh fuck, that's strong shit.
But no, like, fuck them. They sold. Okay, they designed this technology, but they sold away their end result, right? The seeds, the design of those seeds. The farmers plant them. The final product is not theirs.
You're right.
The seeds were theirs, not the final product of growing from those seeds.
That's the problem.
Same thing with the vehicle. The final product, they designed it, they
Damn
did
it.
it, they sold it, so that farmer should own it, and it's theirs.
This is the
Gotta drink
tinfoil
again.
hat part. Vehicle drink.
Damn it! You're doing it on purpose now.
I ate it here.
Yeah, I hate it here. So this is the tinfoil hat part of it. Is it's to that point though that genetically modified food is able to overtake other foods in its ecosystem. The problem with that is you have something that's able to not only be acting as a pesticide to other chemical compounds in foods, such as, let's just use corn as an example, because the United States is a massive exporter to corn and wheat. We're the number one exporters. Logan. We are coming up to the point though that other engineers are able to modify these genetic modifiers to these the corn and wheat to say, okay, this is ours. It has a genetic modifier that indicates this is ours, but it's also superior. It's able to overtake crops. It's able to spread easier. It's able to destroy other crop yields, and that is something that is just unlooked.
To an extent, we still do use pesticides. We do still put chemicals down to kill everything that's really harmful to the plants in the ground. Like all moles, voles, mice, stuff like that is killed before we even harvest. We till the fields, and the only thing that the farmers generally like in their underneath their soil is earthworms, because it their shit helps put nutrients into the soil. So like for the most part, we kill everything underneath our fields.
You're right. But with all of that being said, guys, I want you to say, hey, thanks for not being a cunt, because we're all cunts. And look, I was born without a dick hole for the most part, but I love you all.
You are
anyways.
a dick hole, though.
I am a dick hole. Thank you
vehicle.
guys. No, hold on. I'll drink later. Thank you guys so much for listening to Drunk Discussions podcast. Be sure to find our merch over on Redbubble. You can email us at drunkscussion.crew@gmail.com. Join us live every single Friday night at 9 p.m. for our Monday night podcast. If you don't want to join us live, listen to our podcast on Monday. Be sure to share with your friends. Thank you guys so much for listening. We are doing the giveaway after this. So with all that being said, peace. And for our Twitch listeners, we'll be right back.